Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 24. Oops, I left it on the load screen. How dare I do such a thing? If you didn't catch Monday's video, I hope you go back and decide to watch it later. But I announced what's going to be happening beginning next Monday, which is going to be the European Baseball League. I'm not going to show you anything about it right now, but if this video ends up being quite short for whatever reason, I might do a little bit of an intro. But I kind of want to save that for Monday, so that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be a league with two leagues, the EBL and the EJBL, the European Junior Baseball League, and the promotion and relegation, which is something I always wanted to play with, and I'm really curious to see how that'll work. For now, though, we're back on the A's. I just wanted to show you guys what was coming, and it's going to be interesting, for sure. All fictionally. We had ourselves an off season. And we are not flush with cash. In fact, we are way over our budget because of the acquisition of one Shane McClanahan and the giant piles of money we have to hand out to people that are arbitration eligible. So we're going to begin this game off in kind of a rough place. We're going to have to make some really challenging decisions here. Let's do the easy stuff first. Do I have any coaches? I need a new bench coach. The problem is that I don't get to make that decision. Mark Kotze does. We click on Mark Kotze. Just a reminder, he wants his own bench coach. And that's understandable, right? Like, there is some acceptance of that. Sure. He's our guy. We just signed into a contract extension, so hopefully he makes a good choice. So, we got a whole bunch of people that all want brand spanking new contracts. And as much as I would love to bring back most or even all of them, we're going to have to be really judicious. Beginning with Matt Manning. Matt Manning is an incredibly indifferent pitcher. There's not really anything to hate about him. There's nothing really to like about him. He's the kind of cost that, quite frankly, we can't afford to bear. So we're going to non-tender him. I'm not even going to try to trade him because I don't think there's going to be much of a market for him. Bailey Falter is interesting. I know we just traded for him. And I like the flexibility he offers us. He's a good control pitcher, meaning he won't fuck up as much as some of our other pitchers. There's a definite role for Mr. Falter to play. If we look at what we traded for him... Oh, that was Fujinami. That guy. I'm going to put him in the maybe pile. Let's go through the rest of them and decide who we're going to keep. Ron Marinaccio is a really good reliever. However, our problem is we have a lot of bullpen guys that are coming up. And I can't afford to spend too lavishly on the bullpen. Oh god. We might have to replace most or the entire bullpen because here's $20 million right here. Between Waldichuk and Mason Miller. I can only keep one of these three guys. And Marinaccio is a good enough pitcher that I feel pretty confident he could fill in as a closer if we needed it. I think Marinaccio is going to be the guy to get a contract extension of those three. So keep in mind, it says, oh my god, we're over the limit. You can always pay them their arbitration estimate. That's kind of... It's like oh, have they fixed that bug? Where you can no longer offer them a contract? Oh dear. They patched the exploit in OOTP 24. You used to be able to keep people forever as long as they're in arbitration. I can't even do that much. Huh. Let's trade Mason Miller. Let's start off by doing that. I'm not going to keep him. He's a great pitcher. We've had a fun time with him. I literally cannot afford to keep him. It's not possible. His contract demands are just bonkers. So we're going to do a bit of the old shoppy shop for some prospects. We're being offered one player who's even more expensive. That's not great. That is not a great thing. I literally can't sign anyone to an extension. I'd have to let them all go to arbitration. That's kind of gross. So I could still keep them, right? I saw the option to keep them, but... Man. Alright. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to try the arbitration route with anyone we decide that we're going to keep. Here's the thing. I'm going to have to let Miller go. So I'm going to go ahead and non-tender him. This is not because I don't want him, but it's because I can't afford him. Bailey Falter, also a non-tender. This should be increasing. Oh, no, it's not increasing. I have money available. Okay. I literally have to just offer people or non-tender them. Nick Gordon's getting non-tendered. Cameron Misner is going to get non-tendered. You can test the market. Yeah, Vavra is not the player we hoped he would be. He hasn't developed in a positive way at all. And I can't afford to carry a guy on the roster who doesn't have a huge future. So we're going to non-tender him too. Brennan Allen. Nope, I still can't offer people one-year contracts. I have to go through arbitration for it. That's fine. Sevi Savala is comically overpaid at $3.6 million a year, especially when I've got picked players like Daniel Cusack. So non-tender to you. All right, Mr. Ron Maraschino, I'm going to change your offer to $4 million. That's still a raise, but it's much more acceptable to me. Mr. Palouse, I'm definitely going to let you get your $2.5 million if you want it. Mr. Ken Waldichuk, I really have two options here. I'm already losing 3 pitchers. And it's not that hard to replace relievers, but it's certainly not something I can do willy or nilly. I could offer him... try to offer him like $5 million to do a little bit of... Then if I chose in keeping Waldichuk or Miller, I would pick Miller. So let's offer him $5 million and submit that offer. I'm going to non-tender Waldichuk instead. Pozo. Pozo is a reasonably competent hitter that can kind of play catcher. And there is value in that, but I don't think the value is $3.4 million. I mean, Zavala's flat getting non-tendered. Like, that's... Oh, I non-tendered the wrong guy here. I definitely want Angeles if we can keep him. I think he's a reasonably good starting second baseman. So I think, like, $2 million is fine. That's completely fine. Gordon non-tender. Brennan and Allen... I'm just not convinced Pozo is all that great. I like his contact, but the fact that he doesn't hit for a high average, he loses a lot of his offensive value, makes him very flawed. So we're going to non-tender Pozo. Am I going to try to keep Will Brennan? He's so far had one good year, which was 2025. I don't think he fits what we're trying to do. Do I have outfielders in the high minors? Like, Confidant definitely is still around. Max Clark is going to still be around. I could put Clark in left and then let Allen keep playing center. One person definitely said they thought I should let Clark try center, and I understand that approach. But the thing is, I'd rather have Allen in center because he's a little bit better right now. But in time. Plus, we have Hassel the third. So I already have 4 fairly competent outfielders, so I think that makes my decision much easier. I don't think we're going to tender a contract to Mr. Will Brennan. I could offer a qualifying offer. Absolutely fucking not. I'm not going to do it for Lopez. I'm definitely going to do it for Higashioka. They can both get fucked as far as I'm concerned. So that's a lot of players that are leaving that we're not going to get anything for. And there's just very little I can do about that because their contracts are also high. Let's try to trade Waldichuk. Okay, there are offers for Waldichuk. This is good news. Wow, the kids, they sure love themselves some Nick Waldichuk. That's excellent news. Alright. Let's look at some of the green ones. So, let's start with Nathaniel Santana. A decent corner guy with good discipline and power and reasonable contact. I'm kind of full up on outfielders, but that is an interesting idea. Could get Juan Murillo. Tantalizing. He'd be an upgrade pitching-wise. I have a first baseman, but Nick Kurtz is a pretty darn good hitter. If I needed a DH, I'd consider it. I'm not taking Vargas. Fuck you. Andrick Nava, if I needed like an average catcher, I could see that being a thing. And let's scroll back up. Okay. Who are the other 45s? Esteban Gonzalez? Absolutely not. I don't know why you're even rated as a 45. There is nothing remotely interesting about you. You're going to be at best a slightly below league average hitter that happens to play left field. That seems like a really stupid idea. Just for funsies, let's check a prospect package and see if we can maybe get more than what we're asking for. Warming Bernabel is not a third baseman. I like a lot of the things I'm seeing here, but he's not a third baseman. There's Murillo. So I asked for a prospect package. Apparently the package was only ever going to be one player. I'm going to take Murillo. He's got the potential to be a really good pitcher. He's got a very nice mix of pitches that are all very good. And I think he just needs a regular role. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick him. Boom, done. The fans are going to be sad about losing Ken Waldichuk. It is what it is. That's one problem off of my shoulders. Someone's going to want to pay something for Pozo. Like, it's just a fact. Somebody's going to be willing to punt on defense at catcher and want him. I gotta be honest, Nick Kurtz is awfully tempting. He is really tempting. I don't even know what position he ends up at, but whether he plays first or DH, but I like what he offers us offensively. I think he's a good risk. Of course, Misters Murillo and Kurtz need 38-man roster spots. Done. Okay. Is there anybody else here that I think is a fair chance I could trade and get a decent return for? Probably not. Somebody might want Falter. So let's advance a day just so I can shop more people around the next day. I don't remember that trade, did I? Oh, Barrios is a really good second baseman, that's true. You're going to have to add somebody really exceptional, so that's a no from me, dog. Let's offer up Falter. Falter might get a decent return, potentially. There we go. We're getting some names here. Ishmael Mota. There's a lot to like here. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Doesn't throw super hard. But I am going to need more relievers, because a lot of relievers are getting non-tendered. Tempting. Yeah, fuck it. Call me Ishmael. Oh, right. I actually have to assign you guys to various places, don't I? I don't know that you all make the opening day roster. Kurtz in particular might end up going to the minors, but we'll see. We shall see. Matt Manning is injured, so I can't trade him even if I wanted to. Seby Zavala seems unlikely to get much of a return, but we can try it. No, that's fair. Will Brennan might get some attention. Maybe. This is purely an idea of I'm going to lose them anyway. I might as well try to get something for them before they depart. Cameron Misner might be amenable to a player or two. No? Really? Let's put all these guys on the trade block and see if that makes a difference. I don't think it will. I think the most likely scenario is that all of them end up hitting free agency. Which is whatever. I don't really mind one way or the other if we get anything for them. Alright. We're now only down 10 million. I wish my owner wasn't such a raging asshole, but that's a problem we all have to deal with. I know I could cut the scouting or development budgets. I really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. Basically, what it's telling me is I shouldn't have acquired Shane McClanahan. Because he's so bloody expensive. And that's fair, right? Like, I kind of knew what was going to happen. It's not a shock to me. But regardless, it is still kind of a bummer that we're having to make these sharp cuts. But that's what happens when your owner's a fucking asshole. I don't think anyone who's a fan of the Oakland Athletics would disagree that John Fisher is a raging asshole. We're in the 6th richest media market, but I won't let you have a payroll bigger than the bottom. What a jerk. Let's him forward a bit and see if any offers come in. Miguel Andujar. For Darlin Montero, like, I'm not saying I'm opposed to trading Darlin Montero, but I don't want Andujar. I don't need a first baseman who's not very good at his job. So Drew Waters is a reasonable reserve outfielder. Okay. But no. The thing is, I don't mind trading Hernais either, but in particular, this is kind of a crappy return. Especially when Sathasines only has batting average and maybe the odd walk. I don't think this is a very smart decision. I don't want him at all. I don't mind trading Austin Killingsworth. He's so far from the major leagues, and that's fine. I need somebody other than Sathasine to make this trade a deal. I know you're not going to give me a premium prospect. I'm not that delusional. Josue Di Paula seems really interesting to me. At least as a bat. There's a lot to potentially like here. You have a lot of outfielders. Oh, they're just kind of vibing right now. What about Yasser Mercedes? Can I get that? You're still thinking about it? I will submit the offer. If you'll take it, I think this is a deal I can live with. You're wanting pretty big pieces, so no thank you. Oh, Jack Cushing signed a minor league deal. That's cool. Oh right, you guys can both go to AAA. There you go. Fine. Ken Waldachuk, on his way out, got reliever of the year. And a gold glove for Shane McClanahan, so that's fun. I bet this is why we were able to get decent return for him. And they're trying him out as a starter, which I personally wouldn't do. But you do you, guys. You do you. Taro Soderstrom walks away with some hardware. A nice Silver Slugger award as a treat. Let's get through award season. And that was it. I didn't get any consideration for Rookie of the Year. I felt fairly confident Paul Skeens would have finished relatively high. 4th. To Jay Allen finishing 3rd, which I didn't expect. What is Kyle Teal's deal? I mean, I guess he's pretty solid. I wouldn't have voted for him, but Bryce Altman, on the other hand, is going to be real scary for a long time. Let's go up to arbitration day and let's see how fucked we are financially. Terry Bradshaw. Really, dude? Man, I don't know. I would never have done that, but whatever. I don't really want to stock up on cheap pitchers. I'm going to say not interested, please. This might be an exceptionally boring episode, for which I apologize. But here we are. Did I win any of my contracts? No. Marnacho got his $5 million. Nick Allen, nah. Fuck you, game. Okay. I literally no money to spend. In fact, I'm probably gonna have to. Well, once people declare for free agency, that might free up our salary a bit because it'll officially be non-tendered. Oh, trading for McClanahan was a mistake. I have $2 million to spend. I need to get rid of Kyle Wright. Damn it. Tyler Soderstrom is going to want so much money, and it's hard for me to argue that he doesn't deserve it. But there's not much I can do about that. At least I don't know where we save money. McClanahan was clearly a mistake in terms of the salary he's got. I guess I didn't think that through when we acquired him, especially what he actually provided for us, right? Like, I don't know what possessed me to bring him on for this comically terrible contract. Nobody's gonna trade for him. It's not. It's like I feel like this is a waste of time to a certain degree. Yeah, no. I can ask about veterans. Maybe see if I can take on a. No. I also think he has 10-5 rights or a no trade clause. No, just nobody wants him. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. Anybody intriguing Rule 5 wise we definitely want to keep. Please keep Soderstrom in first base. Stop trying to make him into a catcher. It's not something he's good at. So we're probably talking Daniel Susac as one of the catchers. And Austin Barnsley offers a reasonably good backup catcher. So I kind of think that's what we roll with the understanding that Alex Watson's time may be coming faster than we think. But I definitely want to give him more time in the high minors. He's only 22, and that's fun. So I'm going to go and add you to the 40-man. Or the 38-man, I suppose, is the correct number. If Joe Mack were even marginally valuable at catcher, I would very strongly consider. No, I think he's worth keeping. I do think there's enough interest there that it's worth keeping him around. Jack Perkins could end up getting meaningful innings in the near future, so I'm going to put him on the 38-man. I'm going to keep calling it the 40-man. Cole Cummings second baseman who can't play second base. I'm going to try to pick up a quality prospect for him if we could. A nice little prospect challenge trade. No? Okay. Let's go to the Hall of Fame before I get too depressed about how little we're going to be doing this offseason. Adrian Beltre, absolutely. Charlie Blackmon, not so much. Matt Carpenter, eh. I will always vote for Bartolo Colon. This is a thoroughly underwhelming Hall of Fame class. I'm going to vote for Felix and Cole Hamels. I think they both at least deserve some more consideration. Kenley Jansen, I guess. I have no problem with that. Or Craig Kimbrell, necessarily. I'll vote for Corey Kluber. If you're wanting to make the Hall of Fame with 2,000 or fewer hits, you'd better be incredible in all the other aspects of your game. And I don't see any here that really qualify. I will vote for John Lester. Joe Mauer is a definite. Brian McCann is okay. I will vote for Andrew McCutchen. Sure. Molina and Posey. Alex Rodriguez. CC Sabathia. So let's talk about something that somebody else wanted to bring up. Which is, I'm going to drop Brian McCann. I've only got 15 spots, and I want to make sure that I can consider somebody else like Joey Votto. Do I think Ichiro Suzuki is a Hall of Famer? I'm going to say something that's going to seem somewhat blasphemous. Based solely on what he accomplished in the major leagues, I do not think Ichiro Suzuki is a Hall of Famer. And I understand you spitting out your beverage like, what? Ichiro Suzuki is one of the best singles hitters to ever play Major League Baseball. Of that, I have no doubt. And early on in his career, he also contributed a fair amount of power by hitting doubles. The trap of Ichiro Suzuki is that he spent way too long chasing hit 3,000, and it dragged his performance significantly. He was significantly worse. He played too damn long. And while he could still hit singles and draw the odd walk, he wasn't very valuable toward the end of his career. But then you say, okay, Abby, what if you retired in, say, 2010? Then he doesn't have enough consideration in the big leagues. So it's kind of a catch-22. But while Ichiro Suzuki at his premium was one of the best hitters in the league, he never had tons of power. I had a friend that once said Ichiro could hit 50 home runs a year if he wanted to. He just needed to want to do it. Which is kind of like, easy to say, but not true in my opinion. Ichiro hit what he could hit. Like, you've got to be shitting me if you genuinely want to sell me the argument that Ichiro Suzuki could secretly have hit 50 home runs a year if he'd wanted to, and chose not to do it. Like, come on, man. As a kid, I kind of accepted it, but now, not so much. However, it's important when considering players like this to consider everything that came before. Ichiro only joined the major leagues at the age of 27. Before that, he was in Japan. If you add in his hits from Japan as well, he is the all-time hit king. And that's why, if we also consider his record in Japan, I am 1,000% voting for him. That's where I make the distinction. And I think that's perfectly reasonable. If we can consider, say, Negro League stats in the sense of Jackie Robinson, I don't see why we can't do it for Ichiro and his time in Japan. Does it have his Japan stats in here? It doesn't. That's unfortunate. So, the only reason I think Ichiro gets as much press as he does for the Hall of Fame is two reasons. One, he was a genuinely nice person. And two, he's got that big fancy 3,000 hits. I think that convinces some people that he was a much better player than he actually was in real life. Now, what I think would happen in real life, he's going to be first ballot. Because the fucking crusty old farts that vote for a lot of these awards are going to go, ooh, 3,000 hits. We can't keep him out. What about Rafael Palmeiro? He's a druggie, so we have to keep him out. But, and this is going to be, wow, I'll just unsubscribe from the channel right now. If you said I can add Ichiro's career in the majors or Rafael Palmeiro's career in the major leagues, I'm picking Rafael Palmeiro. Because the guy that hits for power and average is such a rare beast that you kind of have to go for it. So that is my take on this. That's why I haven't consistently been voting for Ichiro in this. I will vote for Joey Votto, however, because Joey Votto drew stupendous numbers of walks, hit lots and lots of home runs, and still had a pretty decent batting average. Yeah. Is there anybody here I want to drop so I could add in another player? Cole Hamels, get fucked. I'm going to pick Adam Wainwright over Cole Hamels every day of the week. Oh, I just saw Max Scherzer's on the ballot for the first time. As much as it pains me, no, fuck that shit. I'm going to drop Kenley Jansen to add in Max Scherzer. Is Chase Utley a Hall of Famer? This is one of the really interesting sabermetric debates of the current time. Compared to the standard per second baseman, Chase Utley is worthy. But in a vacuum, his stats aren't as compelling as you might think. Yes, he doesn't have very many hits, but he's got lots of doubles, plenty of home runs, and a pretty decent on-base percentage. He also struck out way too fucking much. That was Utley's perhaps Achilles heel. But there was a time when he was not just the best second baseman in the game, but one of the best players in the game. Like, look at this run from 2005 to 2009. And he aged semi-gracefully, a little bit. But anyway, I think Chase Utley is probably might get in, but he won't get in on the first ballot in real life. That's my take on Chase Utley. Yeah, JT Realmuto's issue here is he didn't have a long enough career. Otherwise, a lot of his numbers look really good for a catcher. But alas. Alright, let me submit my ballot. Sorry if you don't find the Hall of Fame stuff interesting. I'm partly trying to fill time, but also I genuinely find it fascinating. When is the international pool revealed? Or has it already been revealed? And like a fool, I haven't been inviting people. Oh, here you go. Let's run practice again. There we go. Pavin Smith. No, I don't want Pavin Smith. Don't make a stupid offer. Yeah, let me take on $23 fucking million in salary. Get fucked, Tampa. You screwed me once already. I'm not falling for it again. I don't know why the game thinks I'm desperately in need of more outfielders. Like, there's nothing wrong with Jack Herman. He's a relatively competent player. Wait, what are you doing? Are you playing Tyler Soderstrom a catcher if I keep Nick Kurtz on the roster? This is a very bad idea. I won't stand for it. I will not let Tyler Soderstrom play catcher. That's going to make the team worse. So I'm going to overrule you, Mark, and I'm going to make you play Kurtz or Soderstrom at first base. and then we can figure out the rest of it. Let me get some people promoted. Wait, why is the active roster on here twice? Where's my AAA? There we go. So Barnes is on the 40-man. Mac. Susak. There we go. I think I'm going to trade Hernais. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and then I don't. But I think I have to make a move here. What about a prospect package? A packagee, if you will. No, you're just giving me basically nothing of interest. Cool. Ariel Almonte just seems like a no-brainer. He's a potentially elite outfielder who's going to need some seasoning, but I'm really pleased with what he could be able to accomplish. I think this is an easy pick, and we're just going to grab him. There we go. Plus, it helps my reputation, which might help us make more offers later on. I just realized I'm not even looking at free agency. That's intentional. Because I genuinely don't know what we would accomplish. I think I'm going to trade Mason Miller. I think I'm going to trade Mason Miller. As much as I wanted to keep him, the fact is I can't afford to spend $11 million and cripple my team's flexibility. I can look at regulars too. I just don't want to add in something that's going to cost me a shit ton of extra money. Jonathan Boland seems like a fine choice. I'm sorry the fans are bummed out, but it had to happen. Like, I need financial flexibility if we're going to be anywhere near capable of going to the playoffs this season. Now I have some of that flexibility. So what do we want? What would be the number one thing to make our team stronger this season? I feel good about our starting outfield. I feel pretty good about first base and third base. I'm going to look for value, and we're going to let the value tell me what to do with this money that we have. Josh Hader? No, I'm joking. I don't want Josh Hader. Not even a little bit. Christian Betancourt is marginally interesting to me as a really good defensive catcher that can also hit the odd home run. I don't hate that idea, but I don't want to commit a long contract to him. But maybe. Let's really quickly, I just find it easier to visualize, so I'm looking at the this roster page here. A starting pitcher would not go amiss. An accomplished reliever would be a nice addition. I feel reasonably good about our position players. I'm not super. There's nobody I think we desperately need to replace. So yeah, a starting pitcher and a reliever is what I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and switch over to possibly Betancourt. You know, a guy like Betancourt would be a nice 1 year stopgap as a catcher. Someone who can hit enough to justify his glove. I think we'd have a lot more stability if we brought him in. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to offer him a 1 year deal. And then we're going to look at all the pitchers. Jack Anderson seems somebody that's right up our alley. He's a good pitcher, a slider sinker, no fastball, which is always interesting. He's a submariner. I could see him pitching meaningful innings for us at the back end of the bullpen. And he just wants a minor league deal, so I'm happy to give him that offer. Yes, $25 million for Michael King. What the fuck, man? Jonathan here. There's a lot to like about this mix. I don't know how good he actually is, but there's something to be said for that. Oh, Trevor Rogers. Interesting. Very interesting. He won't be ready for opening day, but he would be shortly thereafter. I think that would be a relatively good value for us. I'm not going to promise you the rotation, but I will offer you a second year with the team option. Basically, why am I doing it this way? Because I'm already paying for his rehab. Having him for a second year is going to be quite helpful. So we're going to make him that offer. I think that's what we're going to do in free agency. I know it's not terribly sexy, but it's, I think, what's best for the team. A nice, reliable catcher and offer me Alex Call. What is it about my team that people think this is the destination for all of my mediocre old outfielders? Like, I don't get it. Ryan Jeffers is fine. He's basically a free version of Christian Betancourt. Interesting. Very interesting idea, actually. Do we go for Jeffers? He's a decent catcher with a good bit of pop. And he's a pretty good defensive catcher. I actually think I like this trade, and I'm going to make it. I'm then subsequently gonna pull the deal of Mr. Betancourt, because then I can spend a little bit more on a more reliable reliever starter, and I think that's gonna end up getting us in a better place. So we're gonna go to pending offers. Sorry, Christian. You're a cool dude. I like you, but I need the money elsewhere. Wait, huh? Why did my money vanish? What? Oh, it didn't. It's just being weird. Okay. Cool. Yeah, there's my 8 million. Alright. Like, do we bring in a Clay Holmes for a year? To stabilize the bullpen a bit? I could think of a lot worse options, for sure. And he's also so relatively affordable. Let's do it. I will not guarantee you the closer role, but I will offer you a contract. Okay, if I give you closer, you'll take it? Fine. Be that way. We got Trevor Rogers. Very good news. I put him on the 40-man for now. The 38-man, excuse me. But we'll go from there. I don't want outfielders. What the fuck, game? I think because Max Clark is rated a 40 right now, so they think that he's a terrible player, which is not true. At what point did I say, give me your titled, your poor, your huddled outfielders yearning to breathe free? Let's check out the Rule 5, see if we can't grab a couple of intriguing players. Not Ryan Jeffers and JT Ginn, anyway. Look at all players. Okay, Jeremiah Estrada seems like a really good choice. He seems like a really good pitcher that won't cost me a lot of money. So I think we're going to do just that. Who's Ariel? Wait, isn't he? Oh my gosh. I don't want to lose him after I just acquired him. Go ahead and take Estrada. And let's very, very rapidly make sure that I didn't fuck up. No, I think he's fine now. Okay, we'll go back and Rule 5. Continue draft. Auto pick until my next pick. I wouldn't mind picking up a competent infielder to be our utility guy. I think Bastidas would fill that job extremely well. Beltre can't play anything other than second base that well. Yeah, we're going to grab Bastidas here. And we're going to take him as a Rule 5. Another position I wouldn't mind having an extra Rule 5 pick at. I could check starters. Like, I don't think there's going to be anybody, but maybe. Unless... No. Bryant Betancourt. Alain Camus. No, I think I'm fine. I think I've got what I wanted. I'm gonna real quick, like, auto-complete the draft. I keep forgetting how valuable the Rule 5 draft can be. I need to be a little bit more circumspect about how frequently I sign free agents. I'm sorry you're bummed, guys. I'm sorry it's a major downer that I didn't keep Ian Anderson, but it is what it is. Wow, Matt Manning was apparently the greatest player in Major League history. I had no idea. I had no idea. Very tempting, but absolutely not. I'm fairly confident that Max Muncy is going to be just fine at third base. How did the Mets end up with him anyway? What did you give to the Pirates? Oh, Pittsburgh just waived him. That's funny. That's funny as shit. They're just like, nope, we don't want him anymore. Okay. So we can do some more international scouting, and I do think that's going to be very important. We have set aside in the budget. Let us invite more people. Moya, Flores, Leba. Let's get all the big boys. Scooting. And run the practice, please. No, I don't think so. Oh, his contract demand has dropped precipitously, but unfortunately for you, I don't have the money. I do have the money. I could get you for $4 million. No. I'll give you $4 million, and if you want to do that, that's fine. I can make that work. Like, these are bad players. Why would I give you anything for them? Stop trying to dump your shitty outfielders on me. Holy fuck, game. Can I have, like, the opposite a team needs, which is, like, don't offer me an outfielder ever? Molina, Scherzer, and Beltre made it into the Hall of Fame. Neat. Holmes agrees. The Braves are offering me, wait for it, an outfielder. There's a nice bullpen upgrade. Let's get some international amateurs signed, please. I really want more young pitching. I will happily go all in on Juan de Moya. Because this guy could be special. I don't even fucking care, my dude. I will happily give you up to the cap. Like, I am not hesitating 1 second. If I can get him, I will be very pleased. We got Moya. We lost Jorge Lopez. Preseason begins. And we ended up getting Betancourt. And you raised my budget, you magnificent bastard. I sure didn't expect that. Now I have all the catchers. I have an infinite number of catchers now, which is very good news, I guess. Which more money does that give me to spend? I have $8 million spent on a free agent. We can look. and see. Oh, did they finally remove the Rule 5 on Confidant? No, it still says Rule 5. Oh, I think it's because of his injury. I think it, like, basically that didn't count as a Rule 5 that first year, so okay. Is there an intriguing player left who doesn't have a home yet? I could bring Higashioka back, that would be funny. Anthony Rizzo, meh. I'm gonna go and offer Peyton Battenfield a contract. Just keep him in the minors in case I need some help there. I'll do the same with Jose Butto. Just because they're really young. So there's a chance they still have something left to offer. And I think I'm just going to sit tight on the rest of my money. And see if I can use it to make upgrades in the season. Thank you, Moda. Hello, Moto. Oh. Oh, that's funny. I can literally fucking farm. I can farm the shit out of reputation boosts as long as other people decide to keep signing him. That's funny. I don't need the injured list here. I need my other rookie league team, please. Let's talk about minor league deals. Man, Alvarado is so freaking good, but I don't want to rush him. He's a little too important. You might have an unnecessary number of catchers, and I'm not disagreeing with you there. There's a finite number of catchers that I believe any major league roster should have. I think that's just science. So what is the future here? Where do we go from here as the Oakland A's in terms of some of our more expensive players? I'd love to keep Tyler Soderstrom. I really, truly would. The problem is we have two pitchers that are an insane amount of money. And they're effectively crippling my financial flexibility. Tyler Glasnow, I don't mind. He's very effective and not that expensive. Shane McClanahan is redonkulous. I think I need to throw him real fast onto the block. Same thing for Kyle Wright. Kyle Wright, I'd be more willing to keep. So there we go. We're going to offer both of them up and try to get some more payroll flexibility. Because I want to keep players like... I want to be able to re-sign people like Soderstrom. Then again, I can't get trapped in the I must overpay for first baseman, especially when I have Nick Kurtz now, so we'll see what happens. We may end up letting him go. Maybe trading him for a nice package of one kind or another. Oh, right. I need to send you to AAA. There we go. I definitely can't, so enjoy. playing for Boston because I don't want any part of that. I will give Jack Anderson a chance to make the team out of spring training. I think that's fair. Cole Cummings, not so much. I have a lot of mediocre players that I just really need to not have anymore. I could let Alex Watson play some spring training reps. I think I've had worse decisions, but... Wait, did you instantly put Juan De Moya right into the major leagues? The pro minor leagues? Because I'm here for it if you did. I wish I had more reliable starting pitchers. But here we are. Here we are. Let's go ahead and just sim some time ahead, and then we'll set our opening day roster and then decide where to go from there. That's a bummer. I really couldn't afford to lose Max Muncy, but it is what it is. Oh, let's put people on the IL that need to go on the IL. Because now spring training has started, that's a legal thing you can do again. Max Muncy will be back in 6 weeks, so I'll just put him on the 10-day IL. That'll be fine. Which basically means Brady House gets to make the opening day roster, which is certainly not something I would have anticipated happening when we started this season. But okay. Next week. And then we'll set the opening day roster. Gotta get down to 26. Duly noted. Really, Jonathan Bolin? Really? Alright. I presently have... I do not have 5 pitchers. I have 18 pitchers. So let's get these numbers down. Perkins to the minors. I want Murillo in the minors. I believe his future is in the big leagues, but he hasn't pitched in the high minors yet. He got kind of forced to pitch higher than I think he should have, so let's let him work out his stuff in the minors. I think that's reasonable. Ooh, Eric Batoni has really improved. If the fucker could actually play a shortstop, I'd vaguely consider it. He's going to be an interesting player going forward. Who else needs to go? Anderson to the minors. I'm going to try to sneak Bolin through waivers and see if that can be a thing. I'm still at 14 players. I will run 13 pitchers. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I will do it. I'm going to trade Marinaccio, if I can make that a thing. Is anybody eager for a taste of the maraschino cherry? Ron Marinaccio. We have fun here. Nate Svall actually makes a fair bit of sense. He's like a nice stash starter. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna trade for him. Because I know I have to put him on the 38-man roster, and that's fine, but I don't have to keep him in the big leagues. That's the difference. And let's stick you in AAA. There you go. That's our pitching staff. It's our opening day pitching staff. It's 13 pitchers, with AJ Minter as our closer, and various other people working combined to give us some decent stuff. Neat. I got 18 position players. Far too many of them are catchers. So this is really interesting to me. Mac definitely goes to the minors. I think one more year. No, I'm going to do it for Barnes. As much as I like Barnes, I need Daniel Cisak to play at the major league level if we're gonna see if he's gonna actually be a reasonable catcher for us. So I'm gonna really quickly trade you if I can. So anyone won't want Sam Barnes. I guess that's his nickname is Sam. That's unusual, but that's okay. People are entitled to whatever name they'd like. I'll designate him for assignment. Now, who else stays and who else goes? Alan Roden goes to the minors. 5 outfielders is plenty, especially when they're all as good as the guys we have. I have no compulsion about keeping all of you. Carlos Jorge isn't far from being our everyday second baseman. Especially because Angeles is probably not going to be on this roster this time next year. He might be. Might even play shortstop. I've got to keep Brady House. I need a third baseman. I'm going to send on Carlos Jorge for sure. Let's let him get another year of reps in AAA, and then he'll be really ready to possibly take over either later this season or early next season. The problem is having both Kurtz and Fujii. Kurtz is the better player, but Fujii offers incredible plate discipline. He is 32. I am going to send Kurtz to the minors to start the season. I know he doesn't really deserve to be there, but I kind of have to put him there. For now. But if there's a serious injury, Kurtz is probably going to be one of the first men up. I'll be completely honest with you. The split second that Fuji is no longer minor league minimum, he's gone. Because I don't think he's going to age super well. I think he's going to lose average, and then he's going to be a real issue. Alright, so now we sum up to opening day. Wants you to make the playoffs. Some people get better. Ooh, Moises Hernandez is throwing harder. That's always a good sign in a pitcher. Nazem Kadri? Oh, wait. Wrong guy. Wrong guy. Oh, very, very quickly here. Juan de Moya on my short list, and I will be taking personal control um of your development. There you go. Okay. So the opening day Oakland A's are not too different from last year's, but there is going to be more. There's going to be more depth, I think. To the really, you're playing Bastidas over Nick Allen? Huh. Oh, you're playing Nick Allen at third over Brady House? That's the dumbest fucking decision anyone has ever made. Absolutely not. You're gonna be playing. Yeah, sorry to override you again. But no, you'll be playing him at third base. Don't be fucking stupid, game. Why would you play Nick Allen, who's not a very good hitter and is measurably worse? He might get better. I'm not disputing that, but I think the best choice to make us competitive right now is Brady House playing third. And then Nick Allen goes back to shortstop, which is fine with me. So, it's mostly last year's starting lineup. We have Max Clark in the opening day lineup, which is very good news. He did get a little bit of seasoning last year, but I'm really eager to see what he can do in a full year. Fujii Soderstrom, Confidant, also opens the year on the opening day roster. I kind of wish the Rule 5 thing was still in effect for him because I wouldn't mind putting him back in the minors, but he's also so bloody good that I'm willing to let him try it. We have Allen, Angeles, and Allen again. House and Betancourt are new, of course. And then we have our opening day rotation and our largely remade bullpen. But I still think we have one of the better bullpens in the major leagues. Which is also much cheaper now. We have a pretty deep and varied bullpen of lots of contributors, all of whom I think could perform in a clutch position there. Also, AJ Minter cost me $0. I love it. I love it. Our big issue is going to be what we do at the end of this coming season, because we do have some players that are going to be coming up on... Can I get Soderstrom long term? I could. Interesting. Very interesting. It's a bit higher than I'd like. And the thing is, you're going to be incredibly hard to trade if you have that big a contract. I think keeping him through his arbitration years actually makes more sense. If somebody's contract is coming up that I could lock in for a nice, inexpensive extension. I think Carlos Jorge is the future at second base. I know he's not quite as good a defender, but he's a much better hitter than Angeles is. I think Angeles is probably a likely candidate to get traded in the offseason. Nick Allen is fine, I suppose. He's not anything terribly interesting. I'd consider extending Max Muncy, but I don't see the real rush. So I'll leave it to you, friends. Is it worth paying $40 million for a first baseman? I don't think that it is, but it's also our best hitter. So I'm not sure yet, but I will be interested to see what y'all think. Now, since the episode ran a bit shorter than I would have liked because there wasn't a lot for us to do, I'm going to give you all a sneak peek of the European Baseball League. So real quick, the European Baseball League is entirely fictional, obviously. And there are two 16-team leagues. There is the European Junior Baseball League, which is where we'll be starting, and the European Baseball League. Each league is going to start out with a draft. We're playing as the Prague Metropolitans, but let's look at the different teams that we have. I named all the major league teams. They each have a full minor league system. So let's start by looking at. I think the standings is a good chance to look here. So we have the Brussels Trappists, Copenhagen Shipwrights, Amsterdam Cyclists, and the Prague Metropolitans. We have the Kharkiv Black Earth, the Belgrade Teslas, the Zagreb Mountaineers, the Munich Brewers. Two beer-themed teams in one division, or in one sub-league, sorry. With the Lisbon Navigators, Stockholm Magnets, Helsinki Ski Patrol, and the Baikonur Cosmonauts. I know Baikonur by itself isn't big enough to actually own a team, but I really like the name. The Vienna Artists, Bratislava Castles. That was a tricky one. I know I wanted a Slovak team, but I couldn't find a better name for that. Varna Dolphins. This one is interesting. So Dolphins was completely randomly assigned, but then I looked it up. It turns out there are, in fact, dolphins in the river in Bulgaria. So I stuck with that. And then the BL Watchmakers for Switzerland. If we look at the European Baseball League, we have the bigger cities. The Glasgow Groundskeepers, it had to be. You probably know why. The Dublin Morgans, the London Fog, the Cardiff Dragons, the Rome Cardinals, Paris Beacons, the Madrid Locomotives, and the Berlin Gates. The Warsaw Partisans, the Bucharest Draculae. I apologize. I really tried to come up with something better, but I just think it works too well. The Budapest Twins. Twins because, there's two cities, there's Buda and there's Pest. The Athens Olympians, the Minsk Whites, the Kiev Varangians, the St. Petersburg Mariners, and the Almaty Horsemen. So that's what we're looking at here. This is what we're going to be doing. They each have brand new full minor leagues as well. Those already have fictional players here. And it should be interesting. We should have people from all over Europe coming in to play baseball. It should be good. I'm going to make a very slight alteration here, just for the moment. Perfect. You are doing that already. Brilliant. I'm also just the general manager again, which I think makes perfect sense. It should hopefully make things a little bit easier. The actual rules are basically the major leagues. I don't want to make too many changes there. We'll take a real quick look at the big rule change. Any rule changes here? One thing I definitely wanted to do, just because I love chaos, is there are no extra inning games. Everything is a tie after the 9th inning. I'm presuming that once you get to the postseason, that changes. But I actually don't know how that'll work, and we'll figure it out. I'm going to set the expanded roster to 30 players, 25 and 40-man roster. They expand there. Look, I disabled the stupid postseason roster rules. That was found that really frustrating and annoying. So, yeah. Everything else here is pretty standard. Not too much of a difference here. No minor league option years. That doesn't mean that you can't Oh wait, do I want to turn that on? No, I do want to turn that on. I definitely do. Yeah, I'm changing things as we go here. It's fine. This is all fun. You can trade with the other major leagues, which I think could be very cool. Very cool indeed. And I will allow draft pick trading in both leagues. I need to go quickly do the European Baseball League and make sure that the rules are the same there. Yep. Anito completed. Always expansion draft teams first. That's important. And I'm going to put the lottery on for 5 lottery choices. I do like the idea of having a lottery. I think it makes the game a little bit more interesting. And there we go. Are the rules now the same? They look the same to me. So anyways, we're playing as the Prague Metropolitans. We're going to start with a fantasy draft. And we have 4 14 divisions. So very simple. If you win the division, you go to the playoffs. I've left on automatic expansion, so as the game progresses, there may be bigger divisions, so we can talk about expanding the playoffs at that point. Or we could do 6 teams in the postseason, with the best team in each league getting a bye. It's a second round. No, I like the idea of doing 8. And then promotion relegation, the top 2 teams get to go to the European Baseball League, and conversely, the bottom 2 teams in the European Baseball League get to go down a level. So it should be good. It should be really interesting with an entirely fantasy roster. It could be really, really fascinating, and I'm here for it. So I hope you have enjoyed today's episode and the sneak peek of the European Baseball League. I'm gonna have it redo some logos. I don't hate the logos, but I think they'd look cooler if we had nicer ones. Where is it? Where's that stupid button? Is it under global settings? No, it is not. Playoffs on the team. Here we go. Reset all team logos. Now, just leave it for now. I don't really mind. No, I will. Let's redo all the teams. I hope we'll get some more cooler logos than just a letter. But I also don't really have the time to like go through and add logos, so we'll see what happens. We're now a white P. That's different. Oh no, we're not. We're this black diamond P. That's very cool. I like it. Oh no, maybe it is just a P. Interesting. Nobody has any cool logos in this league, sadly. Except for the Varna Dolphins, which have the objectively coolest logo. But anyways. We can mess with that later on, I guess, if we decide that's what we want to do. So until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.